kan lan dan le mi min soi dan hi kan ni na ani vek chuang lo ang do hian mi hlom tak te po hi an lang la om vek chuang lawa tun chuma po hian a tho pui te chuan mi fel tak anga an ngai kom duam tak le ngai san om tak zaidam boxi educated man an ti ang chi ma se le lama lo che skill thiam em mai police officer pakhat chanchin kan chui ho don ani D'Angelo chu sangkhan sako sumli panga kha New York a lo pianga US Navy a tangin Vietnam indona po telve shep to a political science le criminal justice a degree nain a tho puite zinga po an chung endo big ani a bula duty te chu nuam an tin fel an thin le a chuti lai chuan visalia vela chuan mi suam ching a china sa hle maya mi ina te lutin an thil nei te alak sak thina mi chefian nuai han sei sak walvel po ching le a chu mi sual chu man tumin police lampo an duty na sa hle a kumhi vel chung lek chuan in suamna boiza somni vel zet a thleng manani 1976 chuan mi sual chu Sacramento lama a chele chanta a heta hi chuan ma son ve kan ti mai don nge mi suam mai ba ka pong sol a ching chho tatlat mai chu pong sol tu lau chuan mei che ho phei chu thin thi in an mungai me lawani D'Angelo po chuan mi sual chet na hun te chu an complain ang chuan a thleng vat thina chu mi sual chuan mai atuam tlat thina wangin a mel an hu chiang thei si lawa an mani veng tu ngei chuan a pong sol thin chu ani sia police te chuan visalia a mi suam tu neng khan thumun ni in an ngaya an shadikani ma se an tho pui ang ti chu an ngei tu phalo shrimani middle class mexi ho chu abitum thina mania mei chia te abei ta thina school bul velami tele tlan chiat ul samna lai ami te abei do ber thina ni abitum te chu ama de in alo en thalok thina phone ten abia an hun man dan hriat tum sa thina achang chuan pangai takin aleng lut masa a an hu lo lai chuan tuk ver kalna te chu alo hong lok thina pistol te pem tom na te chu alo chhop lok ta thina ni in shang te chu bi thla in an compound ate chuan ava in ava kwal ta thina ni tlang puin nei chia ma ania emo no pang nena emo a khoi thina nu pa te po abei ve tho bok ani chutia alo en thlak to te chu zana emo jingma taka emo alu chil ta thina an mut tui lai chuan tos light a enin kai tho pa chuan silain avo zui thina aton be fel nu chuan mi pa jok chu chauka a hroin thleng le no te thil beng chengma chet hleka thom siam mai theite chuan a khu ta thin ani ilo cheta thom ka hria ani vei chuan in vain ka that vek chu ani mai ti ten avo thina pindana chuan lusanin anu puite chu awa pong sol ta thina ni du tok anga nu chuan chauka thilte avai le te a aman mo ngai lawin a che kon fi em zelani poisa le silai amu chuan alak sak bok thina pong sol ang po lang lo kopin nu thup lein thim thama apil bo ta thin ani hetia konfi taka achet hei chan hi police ho patrol dan te ankal hun om te engkim shisa vek ani wanga hetianga chethei hi aloni
is retired Exeter, California Police Sergeant Farrell Ward. He worked side by side along the alleged serial killer for 3 years. Farrell, welcome. Good to have you here tonight, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I just can't even imagine. I read about how you spent a lot of time side by side. You never suspected him of anything like this. What was it like when you saw his picture and realized how close you had been to him all those years?
I was devastated. I just couldn't believe that one of our guys could do something like that.
Tell me what he was like. What he is like.
Pardon me?
Tell me what he's like and what he was like then that led you to not suspect anything at all.
Well, he was a nice guy, but he's just off kind of by himself. Like he was educated person, but he didn't have no common sense.
I just stayed there quiet. And he raped me.
Her sister was across the hall. Vawrh says she broke her feet loose after 45.
achang phei chuan complaint chu ama ngein ava en dik ta thina lo che sual pal dewin evidence lo ompon ni se ama vek chuan athup ngal vek zela evidence mu an nei ngai lo ni achang chuan lo ti boya zui tu te po an om thina in ven nana ui shoi te po aching ta thin ani mel te chu mu ani ve fo thawa ma se tungai ani ti an sha thei si lo ani chulai vel chu a him talo hle maya mania me chelengam an ngai lawa no pangpona in fiam an ngai bok lawa sacramento chu angui ngiai thei hial ani chuti lai vek chuan di angelo le a thopui te chuan pong sual tu man tum chuan an duty na salea man chu po an tum hle ni ani la ala van nei zela man chu ngai na ala lo ani police te chuan victim sang an kom na atang te mita lo mutu te atang te chuan misol pa mel lem ziak an nei thei ta a chu lem ziak chu print chuakin an thon chuak ta chuaya ma se man an la nei mai lawa heti live vek hian angelo chu athil ti thatti awangin chanchin bu headline a te po alang fo thawa police alo ni boxia han ring hel do po an lo shim ani chu azalin na tak mai chuan sual lian zoka a shwai lut zela chulai vela chuan a chejing to sia man chu a lau ve do nge ni southern california lama chet tum le ta ani azalin na chuan pong sual mai adu tok ta lo tual tha achak tlat nge ni tual chu a that chho tran ta a ma se che fu tuk bik ta lo mi dor lo so ma wang le mi ui alo chutlum awangin man ani ta a police atang chuan ban ani ta hial ani heti hun lai vel tak hi police hote thil ngai to kim lo poi em lai chu ani a khatia an man khan visalia le sacramento vela lo chachin ani thayem ti kha an chui zone lo shim ani tlemin han chui thui do se chuan nuna tam tak an chan thei nge yang le angelo po chu abang felta a tual chu athat chhotamal mat mai 86 alo thlen me chuan mi som pathum lai alo that man to ani police te chuan chulai vela chechin chu mi pakhat ani ti sheto ma se an laman thei si lawa case chu chinfil loin a om ta shi ani angelo po chu nupui fanau te nen an cheng hawa tual athat ngai ta lo ma se alo pong sual to te chu vakol let aching zo ani ti chuan thom anei ngai ta hau lawa kumsom thum zet chu azalen le ta ani anu athup thiam em awangin a him tluang zela tuna chuan alo upave ta le a tu te hial anei to a zalen len dona te po ai ngai ve to me ninga sela police te chuan man tumin tha an thla tak chuang lawa nu chuina chu an la nei zel thawani ti chuan investigator te chuan an mi mek omang chu an dong chuak ta ani hemiswal hi mingau nge ani a fit nga le in chi som vela sang a blood type chu a ke size po 9.5 vel shisel chatak le inthazau tak tlan chak tak le saigul khal thiam tak piannal tak inchainal thei tak le police investigating method shatak le evidence poimo angchi po shatak meche huat na nei le sex amu dan po diklo anu pan lai hian anaw kumsari mi lek anu pong so lai alo hu to ani in jinglama na tho ngai lo awangin sumlak lu na po ane thatokhat tin ami en thlak na zong abei lem lawa tuna hian kumsom sari vel ani to ang ti chu an ngai dan ani a tin crime scene pathuma khan microscopic paint chip an lo hu to awangin spray gun mangthin construction lama thok ni nge in ngai boka angelo kha police aban hu khan mechanic anita ani chumi swal profile chu print chokin USA law enforcement changa chuan an thon chok ta a sang hi som panga alo thlen pon engma chan let na an mu lo wangin ramdanga ain son to ni hialin ngaya 2016 June som panga ani a FBI te chuan nu chuina atana poimo information te alo chet to dan te le alem anzia chop te chu an phausoka tin lo manatan dollar singa India poisa nuai som level zet chu pek anin tiam boka lomman achilem lo boka detective tam tak chu an phuma so hi ani maya chumi sol chu 73 le 86 vel kha achet hun lai ania som thum vel zet chu sol na lama ai nam hnoina hriat ani to lo le ngala thil ol sam tak chu ani don lo ti po alang chiang ngal hle ani thiamna alo sang zela chumi sual DNA profile po an la kol thukhiawa 2018 alonia detective Paul Halls le FBI lawyer Steve Kramer te chuan tol thattu DNA profile chu website pakhat GD match antia chuan an upload ta a chu website chuan mi som tanga som ni te chu pule te atanga chul khat kwal an ni ti ang hriat tira tin genealogist Raven tarle a team investigator panga te chuan an han zir chiang tak taka chung list te chu family tree lian pui angin an siam ta a chu tree atang chuan suspect pani an din chok ta a suspect pakhat jok po chu DNA test manga nol ani le a kumsom thum zet lo bibo to le zalena lo in ngai to D'Angelo chu main suspect alo ni ta ani April thla lo ni chuan ma mu lovin D'Angelo car door handle chuan DNA sample an vala chok theita a tin an bol ho bom atang chuan Angelo man nu tisu an la le boka chuan chu thil pani te chuan Golden State World 2 DNA sample chu alo mil chi tamaya ti chuan D'Angelo po chu man alo ni ta ani Angelo chu zonte an han zota Angelo chuan ama chunga chuan mi pakhat Jerry ati chu a tata akalna api anga akala kalu a hian oma katak sapat pakhat ang mai ani kan hot chuak thei si lo ama thu thuin ka oma khang thil ati te kha kadu ngai lo ma se 86 kum khan kan hot chuak thei ta a nun hlim tak ka nei to a khang thil te kha ati vek ani a khang nun na hlu tak te kha kati chevek ani tuna chuan aman ka pek ve angai ta ani tin Sacramento prosecutor thian ho bula chuan ain puang ta ani kumsom thum zet chu lo bibo to in nun tharin alo nung to a anman lai hian afanu pakhat le atunu pakhat te nen an cheng ho meka Angelo chu mi apong so le mi asuam nate chu evidence thito awangte chan sang awangin charge ani talawa mi som pathum atha le mi som pathum kidnap awang chuan thiam lo chantir ani veta ani death penalty pek ani veta a tuna hian athi hun ngakin death row a ve meka zuni somni kwa sangni somni lonia death penalty apum pel be sein mi som pathum tha kidnap le mi som pong sola te athiam lo thu press ma a le victim te ma a eng puang veta a kotwala chuan victim ladam te po an pung khom na sa hle a an ma ni pong sol tu chutiam man a hanita chu an phaven hoi thu te ngai ngam taka anom ve thei don thu te soin an hlim hle ani Angelo hi engtika chiange an ti hlumang ti hi ala hriat lawa appeal theite ani a chanchin dang alom tura ngaila chome
Violation of Penal Code Section 187 Pren A, murder in the first degree. How do you plead?
Guilty.
It's further alleged as a special circumstance to the murder of Charlene Smith that that murder was committed in the commission of rape within the meaning of Penal Code Section 261 and pursuant to Penal Code Section 190.2, Pren A, Pren 17, Pren 3. Do you admit that special circumstance to murder in the first degree?
I admit.
Further alleged as a special circumstance to the murder of Charlene Smith was committed in the commission of a burglary within the meaning of Penal Code Section 459 and a violation of Penal Code Section 190.2, Pren A, Pren 17, Pren 7. Do you admit that special circumstance to murder in the first degree?
I admit.
Regarding count 9 and the charge of murder of Lyman Smith, that count currently charges an open-ended murder, and to the allegation that you acted willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation when you unlawfully and with malice aforethought murdered Lyman Smith, which occurred on or about March 13th, 1980, and through March 16th, 1980, in the county of Ventura, a violation of Penal Code Section 187 Pren A, murder in the first degree. To that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
It's further alleged as a special circumstance to the murder of Lyman Smith was committed in the commission of a burglary within the meaning of Penal Code Section 459 and a violation of Penal Code Section 190.2, Pren A, Pren 17, Pren 7. Do you admit that special circumstance of murder in the first degree?
I admit.
As to count 4, the court does find Mr. D'Angelo guilty, murder in the first degree of Deborah Manning. The court also finds true that Mr. D'Angelo personally used a firearm within the meaning of Penal Code Section 12022.5 based on his admission. The court further finds that the murder was committed in the course of a rape within the meaning of 190.2, Pren C, Pren 3, Pren 3, based on his admission. And the court further finds that the murder was committed in the course of a burglary within the meaning of Penal Code Section 190.2, parent C, parent 3, parent 5, based on his admission. As to count 5, the court does find Mr. D'Angelo guilty of count 1, violation of Penal Code Section 187, parent A, murder in the first degree of Robert Offerman. The court further finds true that Mr. D'Angelo did personally use a firearm within the meaning of Penal Code Section 12022.5 based on his admission. The court further finds that murder was committed in the course of a burglary within the meaning of Penal Code Section 190.2, parent C, parent 3, parent 5, based on his admission. As to count 6, the court finds Mr. D'Angelo guilty of murder in the first degree, violation of Penal Code Section 187, parent A, of Sherry Domingo. The court further finds true that murder was committed in the course of a rape within the meaning of Penal Code Section 190.2, parent A, parent 17, parent 3, based on his admission. The court further finds that murder was committed in the course of a burglary within the meaning of Penal Code Section 190.2, parent A, parent 17, parent 7, based on his admission. Count 7. The court does find Mr. D'Angelo guilty, murder in the first degree, violation of Penal Code Section 187 of Greg Sanchez. The court further finds the allegation that he personally used a firearm in violation of Penal Code Section 12